Russ, do you believe that a final game like this is capable of generating momentum as you move forward, or a completely different chapter than 2 weeks from now starts?
No, I do think winning your final game gives you a lot of momentum, feeling good about going into the off season. So yes, it is important that we win that. There's a lot of reasons to win this game, but that's one of them.
Hey, the way things are in FCS now, do you see the transfer piece as one that's highly valuable and will remain highly valuable as long as you can look forward?
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty tough deal. If you're going to lose guys and lose older guys, you want to replace them with older guys. And that's what happened to us this year. We lost some older guys that decided to go elsewhere, and we brought in some older guys, and thank goodness we did. I mean, they were tremendous, had tremendous value for us this year, and played really, really well and fit into the team. That doesn't happen all the time, and so in an ideal world, I want to build this program on high school kids, develop them, redshirt them, get them here their 5th year, keep them here their 5th year, and move forward and be very limited in the number of transfers you take. But every year, there could be a need, but I don't want to take 5 or 6 transfers every year. Again, even though I say that, even though it's worked out real good for us with some of the guys we got. So great kids and excellent players.
Coach, go ahead.
How much different are they from the team that you played a year ago down there, considering the footprint that Mike has been able to put on the program this year?
I think what Mike's done is he's done a really good job. I mean, they're playing really well. But they've got quite a few players that have played a lot of football, that have been good players there, that are seniors and redshirt seniors. And he sprinkled it in, with 10 or 11 freshmen that really helped them. So I think he took a team and said, all right, we got these good seniors. We may not have quite what we need, and put freshmen in there, and the freshmen have played really good. The quarterback, the running back, they've got a lot of guys that are producing for them as freshmen, and I think that's why they've been so competitive this year. Is they got some older guys that are good players, but then they've sprinkled in some freshmen that have really helped them out this year.
Coach, from your perspective, what makes this rivalry so fierce?
I think the schools are so similar, both really, really strong academic institutions. Student-athlete, that term is important at Richmond. It's important at William and Mary. I spent 13 years there, so I know that place. A lot of the players that we recruit, they recruit. And it's very similar programs, and but I think the closeness, how long the game's been played, all those things factor in. You're playing for a Capital Cup, so there's so many things that go into a rivalry, and I think the other thing too is that every year it makes no difference what the records are. It's always a extremely competitive game. We always play each other tough, and it's great to have a rivalry. It's great to play this game, the last game of the year. So you always, no matter what happens, you always have something's on the line. Sometimes it's, the year we won the national championship, we beat them in overtime down there, and something was big on the line other than it being William and Mary, but we had a lot on the line. If we don't win that, we probably don't go to the playoffs. So, it's an important game and a great rivalry, and it's fun to be a part of.
Well, piggybacking off that, and you kind of just alluded to it right there, I mean, does that help give it juice when you have that Capital Cup and that rivalry in the last game, even though maybe a playoff spot's not on the line this year?
Yeah, no question. And I spoke to our team, and, like I said, they all, we say, all right, here are the reasons it's important to the University of Richmond. It's a Capital Cup. It's, it's William & Mary. It's a rivalry. It's the seniors' last game. It's, all those things. And I reminded our team, do you know what they're saying down there? They're saying the exact same things down there. So it's in preparation now. It's who prepares, who gets themselves ready, who plays with juice and energy. And so whatever we say, they're saying the same thing. And whatever they say, we're saying the same thing. So, you don't have any kind of advantage other than, you ought to want to play. First off, you ought to want to play because it's a game. There are people in the stands. And it counts on the scoreboard, but then you put all those other things in there. Yeah, there is another level of excitement.
Is it kind of strange that both head coaches have connections to the other school? I mean, you were at William & Mary. Mike obviously was here. Don't see that very often.
No, not really. I mean, it is. I think probably. Between Mike and I, we have this rival. I mean, we've been involved in this rivalry a lot. I mean, whether it's on this side, that side, I think I've played this game now, I don't even know, 20 years now. I'm on my 20th year on one side of it or the other side. I think Mike's probably been on one side or the other quite a bit too, not 20 times, but he's been on each side of it. So, yeah, it probably is pretty unique. I haven't really thought of it until you brought it up. Obviously the game it's a little different for Mike than me, because Mike was the head coach here and is coming back and bringing the team back here. So I think there's probably, there's more to it for him than there is for me.
When you evaluate, regardless of what happens on Saturday, when you evaluate this season in another week, month, wherever you do, this team is very close to having a much different season, a half here, a drive here, one or two plays there. Will you factor in all of that into considering it that much more of a success over last year because you at least had the opportunities that maybe you didn't have last year? Didn't quite cash in on all of them, but for a stretch there over 5 games, there was a lot of really good football being played. And even in some of your losses, you were right there.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. And I think when the season's over and you reassess where we are, what happened during the course of the season, I think I agree with you. I mean, we had a stretch there where we played really good football and competed against good teams and won games and beat top 25 teams. Is this year satisfactory? No. Is this year better than last year's season? Yeah, but I think we were a so much better football team this year than we were last year. I don't even think it's close. Last year is, it's pretty disgusted, with the season and how we played. This year, I think our guys, we played good football. And I think the one thing, too, and the credit to our players is that they didn't quit one time. They didn't give up when it was pretty easy. Well, we lost that one. Now we can't do this. And in human nature, and it's easy to do. And these guys never once batted an eye. They just rolled their sleeves back up and said, "All right, let's go and let's get after it." And they did. And that's what I'm proud of. But last week's game is behind us. But that doesn't make you feel good. So I mean, I think we got to play well this week. I mean, we got to play well this week. I think to make it where we can say, I think it was not a successful season, but in some ways, a season that you can say we can move this forward and be really good. Because we played a lot of guys that are coming back, and when you see those guys play and play well and work hard, I think you can look and say, yeah, there's a pretty good future moving forward.